Hi, I'm Professor Stephanie, and in this video we're going to look at using grid paper to draw furniture and a floor plan or a room. So let's start with the idea of how this grid paper works. This we're going to be working with is a 1/4 inch scale, and let's talk a little bit about that, and let me also talk about the tools we're going to use, all right? You can see I just made a block here. That's a 1/4 inch. This is an architectural scale. Be sure it doesn't say engineering. You want architecture. So architect scale is what we're going to work with, and you'll see there are different types of scales. We are going to work with the 1/4 inch. And if I put this down on my paper, I go from 0 to the first large slash here, and that is going to be 1. This is a 1/4 inch. If I put 4 of these together, I get an inch, right? Because we got 4 quarters equals 1 inch. And that's like in our measuring world. In the architectural and interior design world, each 1/4 inch, when you're in a 1/4 inch scale, 1/4 inch equals 1 foot 0 inches. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about translating this. Let me keep talking a little bit. Here comes our tool. So we've got our architectural scale, we've got our grid pad, we've got a T-square that we're going to use that we hook on to the edge of the pad to make our straight edges, eraser, pencil. You can use a mechanical pencil if you like. I just happen to be very partial to old-fashioned pencils. So let's think about this. If each square is a 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, and I want it to represent 1 foot. Because really, if I have, like, we're going to draw a 10 by 16 foot room, we can't use our regular foot. We'd have, our paper would be so big. So how do we keep it into scale so we can measure it and put furniture into scale and still be able to read it? So let's talk about this idea of a 16 foot long, the length being 16 feet of a room. Now notice I'm using my scale here. I'm going from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you'll put your scale right down where I started, and I like to work dot to dot, I'm at, no I'm not. I'm not at 16 feet. That's a good thing I checked. All right, 0 to 16. Okay, there's my 16, there's my 0. Now, that's what I wanted to talk to you about too, is this idea of drawing a line to dot to dot. Please use your drawing tool. This is a drawing tool. This is a measuring tool. Okay, we're not gonna get a lot of lead on this. We're not gonna draw back and forth on here and have a lot of lead. This is for measuring. The next measurement, so I'm just actually going to put 16 feet dash 0 inches. You know how long that line represents to scale. And then I'm going to do 10 this way. See if I can get it up, get it right the first time. Okay, here's my 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's my 10. I could also count that. All right? So here we go. Using my drawing tool, I'm going to get this rectangular shape to represent a 10 by 16 room. Okay, let me mark this too. Oops, 10 feet. I had it right the first time. Got it. Okay, now let's put a door in this. I'm going to put a door right here, and what's typical is 6 inches for a door to be, the space between a door and a, now here I got 0, I've got 1, in between is 6. So I can put my scale down there and make a mark. Again, a dot. Doors are typically 3 feet. Another dot. So I have 6 inches here, and the door is 3 feet wide. All right? Now another typical thing is we're going to make our walls 6 inches thick. Okay, so I'm just going to show you. See how I'm using the 0, and there's my 6 inches. So typically, I think in real life they're 4 inches thick. We're going to use 6 because it's easier. 6 is half of this box. So this is typically more of what there would be a width for the thickness of the wall. So when we talk about a floor plan, we are talking about a bird's eye view. We're talking about taking the roof off of a house and looking straight down on it, all right? So that's a little bit more typical of what's going on in a floor plan with the walls. So I'm going to make a line here and a line here. This was my 3-foot space for the door. Here comes my eraser. Okay. Now, let's get a door there. That's just the opening, right? I don't have a door. Now, how wide does the door need to be? Aha, you got it. Now, oops, let me find my 1/4-inch scale. I got to turn this way. There we go. 0. I like to actually put my door in the middle there. Here's 3 feet. If the opening's 3 feet, I need the door to be 3 feet. Here we go. So I like doors to have 2 lines. If we were to cut a door in half and look down at it, we would have 2 lines. Can't remember if you have a circle template, but if you do, it would be great. I'm going to show you how to use this templates. We take our pencil and we lean against the outside. That's a circle. I don't need a whole circle, do I? I only need this part of the circle to make my door swing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from this notch right here where the door is to down here to this notch. That's what the door swing would be. Okay, great. Let's put a sofa in here, and I want a 5-foot sofa. I'm going to find the middle. Let's make it 6 feet, and that'll be easier for me. Ha! There we go. All right. 16/8's the middle. If this is a 6-foot sofa, what do I get to do? I get to do 3 on one side, 3 on the other. All right, and it's going to be 2 feet deep, which is typical. By the way, whenever you need the measurement of furniture, you've got a book, and you also have probably some furniture at home. And I encourage you to go measure. The more times you can measure a piece of furniture, the better you will remember about it, and the more sort of hands-on you'll have around it. That looks like a pretty narrow sofa, doesn't it? All right, but that said, I'm kind of working quickly here. You're going to run double check for me. Now look, I'm going to put some shape on here, because you know when we have a bunch of rectangular shapes, we don't know what they are. The minute I do that, you know what the sofa is, and those of you that feel comfortable, we can even put pillows on the back there. Now that makes a lot of sense to us, doesn't it? Okay, now I'm pretty sure you have a circle template. A furniture template, and so this is the furniture, home furnishings. Now I'm very cautious about using these tiny little chairs. I call this a teeny gumdrop chair. I would not want to sit. If I'm doing a living area, I don't want to sit on a little chair like this. Oh look, I fit a couple chairs in there. No, that looks like a chair that my butt would not fit on, okay? If we're going to be working, and again, we just have to be practical. Go measure how big a comfy chair is, and I bet I'm looking to use the wing chair. When I think of a wing chair, I think of it being bigger in the back. That may not be true. I've never been able to figure that out. Okay, now that's starting to make some sense, isn't it? And let's get a side table in here too. How about that? So you can see I'm putting furniture in. Now, one of the key things about this sofa is that even though it's leaning against the wall, you have to have 4 lines. You can't just like push it against the wall and not have another line. If you think about it, if it were in a box, the box would have 4 lines to it. So just be sure that your furniture is not connected to the wall. All right, now I'm gonna think about a little bit about. I can use my template. Let me show you how I'm going to use this template. I'm going to find the middle here, real light. See, I've just got a real light line there, and the middle there. That's the middle of that space, so that when I come to put this occasional table in here, I can center it, and it makes sense. Okay? Now, we want to be able to get into these spaces. We can do that. That's very important. Okay, that's an introduction to doing we did a pretty quick floor plan. Each box is 1/4 of an inch, both sides. And we're going to be thinking about this as each quarter of an inch representing 1 foot. There are 16 blocks this way, there are 10 blocks that way to make this work. So thank you very much.